All right, we got another hyperspace match between Jonathan Martin and Blake Garcia. This is March 2nd, 2019. There is a resistance and a rebel list. Jonathan Martin on the left hand side of the board is flying Magva, Luke, and Wedge. The loadout's a little bit different. Of course, there's Leia, which should be on everything, but there's also Saw Gerrera over there on Magva. Luke has perceptive or the force ability that allows you to shoot at PS7 if you want to, and then Wedge has the afterburners and I can't remember the EPT that he has, but he has the R4 astromech that turns all the twos into greens. Blake's running. I forget the pilot score 3 A wing, but he's running the two pilot score 5s, Tally and I think it's Lula or something like that. And then he's running Poe with R4 or B actually it's the BB-8 astromech and the title. Both players coming in at 200 points. Running into or rolling out into turn 1. I convinced. So the thought is right now that 3 ships and below is a very dangerous thing to fly in X-Wing 2.0, mostly because 4 ships and above can be so efficient that more dice coming back at you when it's a dice game is usually better. Though the U-Wing, especially with Leia, has a lot of potential. And, of course, Wedge and Luke firing at a PS6, or potentially a 6 and a 7, can be really good for an Alpha Strike-ish type list. I convinced Blake, definitely, it's my perspective that you practice with the larger rocks, get used to them, because once you get used to them, you have an advantage over your opponents. I believe both of these players are coming in. John's coming in off the bye, and so it's essentially a 1-0, and Blake's just won his last game. But I think you're going to watch this unfold, especially in round 2. John plays this rock placement well. The first thing he does is kind of play to the outside of the board, where all the rock clusters are there in the center, and he coaxes his opponent to fly through the rocks, and that's good. That's what you want. I think that Blake, he's going to start like that, but he's going to pressure up through the middle of the board a little sooner, and you'll see that's going to start to split his shots. Both the guys are using the S-foil token that they made this last week, which is pretty cool. It's just basically a little piece of plastic, and he cut up the card. The good and the bad, it's a cool token. The bad is that that's probably a really expensive token, considering the only place you can get them right now is out of the core set or the Rebels. It's easily a $20 token right now, if not more. All right, so looks like Blake moved towards the top of the board with all of his A-wings. And it looks like John is pushing towards the bottom of the board. So Blake's pilot score 3 ship is going to 3 bank up. This is where I think you have an opportunity to maybe play the outside of the board and open the game field up a little bit. But he's going to boost in, which is going to force him to have to play the center of the rock formation, at least for the next round. I think ideally he would have wanted to play one more round to the outside, so that's what John's going to do. He's going to play one more round to the outside of the formation. And so the first joust is going to happen where John can set up a little bit better than Blake can, forcing Blake to kind of come up with a split formation and not be able to pick and choose where which tokens he's going to have tokened or which chips he's going to have tokened and whatnot. John coordinated a barrel roll for wedge, which is good. It's gonna again playing that outside of the. You want your opponent coming through the rocks first. That means that they are coming in through a broken formation, and so John's gonna be able to focus fire a little bit better than Blake's going to be in this first couple rounds. It might be a round or two before John actually starts to shoot, but Blake's shots right now, or if he has one, is not going to be focused. They're not going to be modified. And they're not going to be all of the ships aren't going to be able to fire on one ship, which is what you're going to want in the first round or so shooting. Like BB-8s here. I think what's tough is that you only get two or three charges now, and so it's tough to just use that like you used to and just maneuver around the board. To me, you really want to be careful of spending those two charges because they're going to offer you a lot of maneuverability, especially if he gets himself caught up in the rocks. I believe this is one that just gives him the barrel roll. I think BB-8 gives him a boost or a barrel roll, which is kind of cool. Let's see what Wedge does here. Wedge is going to, yep, he's just kind of slow rolling. John knows he does not want to engage with those rocks too soon. Which is smart. So it looks like the only shots that are going to come through, Poe might have a shot maybe, but no. And see that A-Wing might, and if he has trick shot, that'd be pretty decent, but otherwise it's a range 3 shot through a rock and a bazillion, green dice and only a couple reds. It always favors the reds, of course. Oh, it looks like they called out too, so looks like on the next round. So that's a good setup for John. He's set up better than Blake is. And he didn't take any shots getting there. So what's going to be interesting about John is that he has Saw Gerrera on there, and so on Magva, and so even if he decides to 2-turn here, he's still somewhat modified, at least on the attack. So So that's going to be good for him to not have to worry about that this next move so much. Blake swinging in with a 3 banknote. So that, I think, to me, I would have focused and boosted there. But he's trying to open up his play window a little bit. The tough thing about those A-wings is that you can action and then either boost or move your turret. You can't boost and barrel roll like you used to. So I think this close into combat, you definitely want to have your focus on you because you don't want to be unmodified, especially on an A-wing. A-wings, they blow up in a cloud of dust very, 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 very simply. So Blake contemplating his next move here. So I think even if he had focused and boosted in, that's going to jam up that area. I know he's going to take a shot from Wedge, which isn't good, but he has the potential to kind of jam up Magva or Luke. So now he's not going to be able to make another move here. I think if you're stuck in that position, you boost down so you don't take a shot unmodified. Try to escape someone's arc or whatever it might be. He's trying to leave himself with the opportunity to have a shot, but that means he's going to probably take a shot and again unmodified. So not a great position for that A-wing right there. Of course, John 2-turned. He's still stressed, but it's okay. He has Saw Gerrera, so he has some modification. And if you blow up that ship, go for it. You still have Wedge and Luke on the board, so still a lot of options for John. The PS5 A-wings are going to start moving. Yeah, and see, here's another situation where he's not going to have shots where he's going to want them. So that the A-wing boosted up and is going to turn his... That could be the one that gets 3 dice out of the back, so that might not be a bad move for him. And of course, that rock there making it difficult for him to boost or barrel roll into a place that where he could get some more shots off. A barrel rolled down. It's probably tally. So if he gets that U-wing inside of his bullseye firing arc, he might be able to use that ability. Of course, it's going to be tokenless again, and so that has the opportunity, you know, if John winds up with a good shot on him, to potentially be bad for that ship. Looks like a 2-turn in from Luke. Nice placement on the rock. It gives him a nice open area for shots from 2 ships now. And if he gets Wedge into place well, then he'll have a nice focus 3 shot on somebody with the 3 of his ships. All right, looks like Poe did a 1 bank down. So I'm kind of wondering where Blake was trying to focus his attacks. I think he was more trying to find lanes through the rocks, which he only really had one good one, and then the other one, of course, the two bottom ships that were posed kind of facing is an alternate route. Again, I think when you're flying 4 ships, you want all 4 of them to be focused on somebody. Now he has the opportunity to maybe focus 3 on Magva, but that's probably not the one you want to be focused in on. Of course, you want to be focused in, and John, of course, has Wedge in the back, and that's where he wants him. It's going to make him not a prime target for any kind of focused fire. He could have maybe lined Luke up for a focused fire shot, but it looks like right now Blake has Magva lined up for his best opportunity to focus fire, which is okay if he can get through the next round. With being able to get more shots, which is going to be tough. Again, that 1A wing, there's the top of the board, is facing the wrong direction to get another good shot off. Its best opportunity to drop stress is a green 2 straight, and that's just going to be really too far away from combat at that point. So it looks like Luke's going to make himself a 7, and he's going to take a range 3 shot through a rock at Poe. Looks like 2 hits maybe? Looks like Blake dodged that one. Now let's see where Wedge is going to fire. Same target, maybe? Oh, maybe I guess there's called it out of... Poe shoots first, that's right. He has the initiative. Oh, 1. Oh, you got the target lock on him, alright. I don't know if Magma is 0 to 1. Or it's range 1 to 2, but they're checking right now. I don't know if Magma's ability works on herself. I guess they called it. So he's not going to spend the target lock. Oh, let's see what they're doing. Yeah, he's going to spend the target lock. They called it Magma's ability works on herself. So he rolls 2 hits. One of 8. It's pretty good. So 1 damage on Magma. So now Wedge will get a shot. Looks like range 3 through a rock at Poe. It's good Poe didn't have to use his focus, so he can more for defense. Like cock dice maybe. Rolling really well. Let's see. Didn't have to spend his focus. Oh, blanked out. But he has Heroic. Roll it again. There you go. Heroic's a really good card, especially for the X-Wings. Not much better, though he can spend it. 2 evades, better than none. Take 1 shield. So Blake's PS5 ship should have shots now. Let's see where he's going to go with this one. All of them unmodified. It's range 2. Range 2 from Tally, 2 dice. 1 hit. Blanks, take 1 more on Magva. Let's see what... Range 3. So this should be 3 dice here. Oh, I think he rolled all focuses there, so he can't re-roll them. Yeah, that's rough. Alright, now Magva's going to get the chance to return the favor. Although, I think that actually that Pilot Score 3 A-Wing would have the first shot before Magma shot, but that's okay. So he took a damage there to turn one of his focuses into a crit. Poe loses one more shield. So it looks like Poe has one shield left. A-Wing there at the bottom should shoot. They're going to check for rock. Closest to the closest is no rock though, so range 2 I believe. I'm not sure what the, oh, good roll, 2 hits. And it looks like 2 evades probably for Luke. Alright, entering into the third round. And again, John has the advantage. He has all the best areas to attack from. So that is a good position for that A-Wing there. Just focus it up. You could boost if you wanted to, maybe get some bumps in on. I think this would be a good area to do Leia, flip Leia, and then do a Talon roll with. Oh, why are you barrel rolling up like that? Yeah, right where he was probably the best spot he could have been, because he's gonna have a nice range shot at somebody. With that spot there, see, he's not gonna be able to focus. And see, he's not going to clear it. Yeah, he should have just took his focus and stayed unstressed, but he barrel rolled and he tried to boost in and got the stress. That rock's going to give him problems this whole game. Is it a 1 bank from Magva? It's going to be a nice area for him. Nice opportunity for him to block up a lot of stuff from Blake. Let's see. So I think it's Lulo. I think that's the name. He's going to 2-turn up. And probably be best to boost. Although boost and barrel roll probably wouldn't be bad either. Looks like he's going to boost and turn his arc forward maybe. So, again, Blake has some very vulnerable ships without tokens, and that's going to be tough. I know they have Heroic, and Heroic's really good, but it's not always enough to save you. Tally tried to 2-turn down. It looks like it's got blocked, so. And he wasn't stressed, so, he had a lot more options than the 2-turn. Not really sure. Where he's trying to go. Maybe he's trying to get back out into like more open space for better maneuverability, but it's gonna be tough for Tally there, because I think she's gonna wind up being in the line of fire depending on where the X-Wings go. And with no tokens, she can go down very quickly. So Luke's gonna go here. I would imagine a 1 bank. Yeah, that's a really good move. So just I'd maybe even target lock somebody, because you still have the force ability to change one of your focuses to a hit or something like that. So although he has the potential to take 2 or 3 shots, so maybe he does focus up. Now Blake's going to use BB-8 here. I was just recording today. I wasn't playing, but he does a couple things that I don't know that I would do here. So he has a 3 straight dialed in. He's going to BB-8. What he could do here, which he didn't, is he could then flip his Poe token and take an action, get the stress, and then drop the stress from going 3 straight. But he doesn't. And it's okay. So but I think kind of the bad thing here is that he's going to put himself over a rock. So he's not going to get actions after the fact here. But if he would have just gone 3 straight, he probably would have bumped Tally and had a range 1 shot on Magva, and maybe only 2 potential shots coming back at him from Poe and Wedge. But instead what's going to happen here is he's going to put himself over a rock. I believe he rolls a hit. He's going to lose his last shield. And when this is all said and done, he's going to have 3 ships pointed at him, and he's not going to have any tokens. So I think it's where that BB-8... So remember in 1.0, I used to fly BB-8 Poe a lot, and that was a really cool ship. But it was very squishy if you did not use BB-8 correctly, and you had to spend a lot of time learning how to do that. Well, now a lot of people aren't doing that this time around with 2.0, mostly because the 2 charges don't make them nearly as fun as they used to be, and the R4 seems to make a lot more sense with the stress on Poe. But that's one of those you really have to be careful with, because otherwise you're going to get yourself into trouble. And he's got himself into trouble right here. So Poe's not going to have a shot. I think he would have had the shot if he would have just gone straight and hit Tally and shot at Magva. But not only does he not have a shot, he has 3 potential shots coming back at him. So let's see what they're going to do. He doesn't have to make himself a 7. So, oh, he does anyways. So he makes himself a 7. He doesn't have to do that. So Luke is going to fire at Tally, range 1 through a rock, 4 dice. This is what happens a lot with the A-Wings. People got to be careful. Natties, right? 3 hits and a crit, and not an evade in sight, right? And so boom, and there's nothing he can do about that. No token, no nothing. I think there's 3 pain out there. If he had to focus, he probably would have lived. But there's a fully healthy A-Wing, just kind of went poof. And Luke didn't have to spend a token to do it either. And so, now I guess you can make yourself a 7 there so that Tally can't shoot back. That's good. So you could potentially take him out. It's really good, big defensive. So now Wedge, and Wedge misfires, and that's good. So it's just 1 damage. Suppose gotta hope for a invade here. He might have got 1, so he's safe. So he still has 4 hull left. Lulu doesn't have a shot. The PS3 down there in the corner probably has a range 1, which is good on Luke. It's unfortunate though, because you want to keep focus on the one you were focusing on, but nothing else is damaged at this point. And no modifications, so you just gotta hope. So this is just like the last video I did, where Thomas was firing a bunch of shots unmodified. You definitely don't want to make a habit of doing that. And there's been a couple shots so far this game where Blake's made that's been unmodified. He rolled natties. That's always a way to get around that. But you notice John always has some sort of modification on the board, and that's always going to do better. So really good roll for defensive roll for John. It looks, I don't know why he took a card there. Or maybe that A-Wing has trick shot. Maybe he's shooting at Magva. Maybe that's what happened. That's why he has to roll 3. So now Magva's gonna pour it on Poe. And I believe that is Blinded Pilot. But don't matter if you roll naturals. And he's going to heroic, hopefully save himself some damage, and does not. I think those are both focuses on the table. And so I think you walk out of that with 3 less damage if you would have just not BB-8. Actually 4 less damage, because you wouldn't have hit that rock and lost your shield. Into the next round. So John has a distinct advantage over Blake right now. Both these guys are down from Kerrville. They have to find a home for their X-Wing because there's not a community up there. I think if they try to play up there, they'd only be the two of them playing each other every day. So I think John played in Austin a lot, and Blake's just started playing maybe over the last year or so. Just like I think he just got into it right before 2.0 was announced. So that A-Wing's going to try to 2-turn down. That 3-bank blue is really good on those two, so I don't think I'd sleep on that thing. Considering where the ships are, considering I bet you leg gets popped, I think I'm going to 3-banked up. See if I can get in front of a 4K or something like that. At this point, you're in a little bit of desperation. Poe's got 1 hit point left. Your 2 A-Wings are healthy, but those 2 alone are not going to win you the game when your opponent has all of his ships on the board. So now it's Magva's turn to turn. I think he did flip Leia, so I think he's gonna spin that guy in a circle. Not sure what that token was that he put out there. Yeah, he's going to spin. And since he was not stressed, and that is not a red move. Oh, focus. There you go. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's the one that doesn't matter if you bump. I think you can still do an action. I think so. So he can do an action there. I don't know why he doesn't do an action. Maybe I'm missing something. Unless he took a target lock, maybe. I don't know. Whatever, or he might have actioned one of his damage cards down. That's probably what it was, because he wants to use Saw Gerrera, and he can't use Saw if he has Blinded Pilot. So Lulu has an opportunity. I think focus and boost in for a range 1 on Magva, right? Oh, he has to turn his arc. I forgot it was aiming backwards. That's a good call. He's going to be able to roll 3 dice there. So I think on this next turn, let's see, I think Luke's going to try to 4K here and land himself on a rock. So there's opportunity here for Blake. He's just got to capitalize. And I don't think John rolls any damage on that rock. I can't remember what the damage was on Poe. He's gonna 3 straight here, and I think this is right. I think so. He can flip his card. His title gives him a slam. It's a white slam, and so it treating it as a red, right? And the maneuver he's going to do is red, but I don't think you assign that red until after you execute the maneuver. So I don't know that it matters that it's a red move. I think you can still do that. I just want to double check the rules on. So it should work that way. He's going to flip his ding. He's going to turn that action to red. After he completes the action, he will get stressed. That's the way that card reads. So slam is you get to do another maneuver. Now the maneuver is red. So he's got to complete both the action and the maneuver. And then they check stress. And that's when he piles on all the reds. That's the way that should work. But I got to double check that. We got some tournaments coming up, and I want to make sure that's the way that should work. That's going to be something that's going to happen a lot. He's going to turn that into an ion. That's a really good move. Being able to slam into a talon roll. Of course, John playing really well. He's just going to 2-turn up. He's not going to try to do anything too crazy. And that's going to put him in a nice opportunity for a kill shot on Poe. Now, what Blake does here, I don't know that I would have done. Blake's going to fire at Wedge. And he has no damage on Wedge. And he almost has that A-wing or the U-wing dead. I think I would try for that. Even though it's at range 3, he has no tokens. He has 3 hull left. You shoot with Poe, then Poe dies. And then you shoot with Lulo and potentially kill Magma before he shoots your A-wing. But he's going to go for the range 2 on Wedge, I think, here. I don't think he rolls incredibly well, but that's okay. I think you go for the kill on at this point. Then you hope it's the 2 A-wings and the 2 X-wings, which, the X-wings should have the edge, but you have maneuverability. I think it's 1 hit there. And see, Wedge is also modified too, so that's why it's a little safer for him. Here's Wedge going to fire back, and of course it's 1 dice. You can't use heroic when it's 1 dice, so he's got to hope for that. Since he has an opportunity here, but nope, it's blank. So gonna kill Poe. Blake tries to steal John's dice. That's bitterness right there. So then Lulo shot, right? He's gonna shoot in. He has 3 dice. He's gonna shoot at a 1 dice. Yeah. See, I think I would have gone for the. So, yep, 2 hits there. Takes them both, but he leaves them with 1 hit point. That's going to leave him the opportunity to shoot that A-wing. I don't know if he has a shot on... looks like he's shooting Wedge. 2 hits, that's good. He gets 2 evades. That's bad. And then Magva on. And those look like maybe natties. Oh, he's going to turn those focuses to crits with Saw Gerrera. Which I think Saw Gerrera is himself to death, but I don't know. I could be he lost 2 shields there, so he's still alive. That's good. See what he does in this last round. So, so these guys are gonna. This is gonna be their last round. I think Magva goes down. That A-wing goes down, and it's 2 healthy X-wings on Lulo and Blake calls it. There's about 10 minutes left, I think, in the game. I can't remember what the call was. There might have been a little bit more, but I think Blake was going to try to recoup for the last game. Can't remember who he played. I should message him and find out, but hopefully he bumps there because he could just all stop again. Anyways, I'm gonna let the video run. I'm gonna get it posted. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. We'll see you on the next vid.